Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Friday, it's July 8th of 2022, and we've got a lot to talk about today. So I would like to welcome all of our Let's Go family members, as well as everyone who is new. It is really wonderful to have you all here with us. If anyone hasn't subscribed yet, would you please subscribe to our channel? It will help us out, and I think that you are going to really enjoy this association as well. So first of all, I want to talk to you really quick about what is going on with testing. So we have been talking for the last couple of days about the fact that most recently Norwegian Cruise Lines announced that they are no longer going to be requiring that pre-embarkation testing. And along with that, one of our Let's Go family members is scheduled to sail on Oceania on August 28th of 2022. She received the notice from them because Oceania is owned as by Norwegian Cruise Line, as is Regent Seven Seas. She shared the wording that she received. And so they're pretty much just saying that we have an important update to share with you about revisions to our embarkation testing policy. Effective August 1st of 2022, Oceania Cruises will no longer require guests to produce a negative COVID test to embark on their cruise, subject to local regulations. And so that's where it comes in, that if they, for any reason, were sailing out of the United States, Canada, Greece, or Bermuda, you'd still have to do that pre-embarkation testing. So I really appreciate that update, Diane. Thank you for sharing that with us, and I hope you have a wonderful cruise on Oceania. You'll have to let us know how it goes. Now, along with that, I get a lot of requests by email wondering who I think is going to be next to get rid of that pre-embarkation testing. And that is a really hard question, but I've been thinking about it. And the next one that just popped into my mind as I've reviewed their COVID policies is MSC. Simply because on MSC's website, they have talked this whole time about how everyone who is age 12 and older has to be fully vaccinated, and you have to show proof of it for everyone like we are used to, but they only talk about offering any medical exemptions. They don't talk about offering exemptions for any other reason. As we are familiar with Princess on their website, they talk about meeting the CDC's requirement that at least 90% of the passengers on board are vaccinated, and so that leaves that wiggle room of 10% for exemptions, or for children, I guess children under 5. Oh, well, you know what? They have not updated that yet about children under 5 since those vaccines became available. We'll have to keep our eye out for that. But anyway, they don't seem to offer many exemptions. And so I am wondering if they're going to be next. MSC is trying to get a bigger share of the market share of cruising here in the United States with offering more and more cruises here out of the U.S., but they also do so much cruising over in Europe that I'm wondering if they're going to be next with this. And so we will keep our eye out, and I will let you know. With today being July 8th, right before I did this video, I'm a little late today. It's 5:45 Eastern time that I'm doing this, so we'll hurry and get it right up. But that, as of right now, still Princess, Holland America, Royal Caribbean, and MSC have not made any changes to their cruise protocols since we know Norwegian announced that a few days ago. They are still the only one like that. Now, the next thing that I think is really important for us to think about when we think about the pre-embarkation testing going away, I still get so many questions from people wondering what testing is required. So if you're going on a sailing out of the U.S. anywhere, you need to do a COVID test. And if you are vaccinated but you're eligible for a booster and haven't received it yet, you need to do your antigen test within 2 days or your PCR test within 3 days, okay? And if you are vaccinated and you're eligible for a booster and you have received that booster, you get to have 3 days for your antigen test or 3 days for your PCR test. And then anyone who is not vaccinated has gotten their exemption. You need to do a PCR test within 3 days. Okay, that is really standard for sailings in the US, and it's similar to that. It's the same actually for sailings from Europe right now. Now I'm getting questions about sailings from South America that are coming up. like later, like at the beginning of next year and on, and none of the cruise lines have announced their protocols for sailings from South America yet. I have no idea what they will be. I think at the very most they would probably require the testing like they're requiring now, and I don't know if masks will be required. I'm not familiar enough with what South America is requiring in the way of masks right now on land to even fathom, I guess. And so I will keep my eye out though, and I am sure that the cruise lines will post their protocols for that as we get closer. Things are just so fluid right now, as they've been since the restart, that I think they're just waiting until closer so that they have an idea of what's going on and what is needing to be required. So that's where we are with that. Along with testing, I get a lot of people that ask what's going to happen if you test positive when you're on a cruise ship, if you're on a land tour. And I do hear of a lot of people saying that we've got quite a few people testing positive between the land tour and going on a cruise. But I also hear from a lot of people who are able to go on their land tour and their cruise and without any problem. And so that's kind of where we are right now. Now, if you're on a cruise and you ask to be tested or you are tested, the only time you're going to be basically in Alaska, as I'm thinking about these things between the cruise tours and the land tours, you need, like I said yesterday, to be tested for your land tour and then tested before you go on the cruise ship. Or if you're going on the cruise first, you have to get tested to go on the cruise, and then you don't have to be tested to go on the land tour. So the only time that you're going to be tested is at those required testing times, unless you ask to be tested otherwise. So if you are on a cruise ship and you ask to be tested and you test positive, you're going to have to go into quarantine. I've heard some people say it's 5 days, some people say it's 7 days, and what I've heard is they check you again at the end of the 5 days or the 7 days, and if you can test negative, then you can go back to your regular cabin, carry on with your cruise. If you test positive, usually they say that you have to stay in quarantine a little bit longer. If you have not fulfilled the quarantine number of days, once you get on land, then you're going to have to quarantine there. I also know that Canada's not letting people who are positive on the ship get off and finish quarantining in Canada. I have heard from so many people that either them or someone they know, if they were positive on the ship, they have to take the ship back up again, back up to Alaska in order to disembark at the end of the next cruise. So I just wanted to let you know about that. It seems like that's how things are going. For people who are on Holland America, like this cruise I just did that is round trip out of Vancouver, I think that they are moving them to a princess ship to go back up to Alaska to disembark in Whittier. Okay, people have told me that is what's been happening. So that's what will happen. So just be aware that that's how that's working. If you test positive between like the land tour and going on your cruise, Princess is contracted with a company in Alaska that will pick you up and take you to a quarantine hotel. Based on the experience of everyone I'm hearing, you are not locked in a quarantine hotel. No one calls the airlines and says you have COVID, so you can stay there, or you can get a flight and go home, wear your mask and go home, or you can rent a car and drive home. There are all these options, and I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. I'm just giving you that information. And like I said yesterday, I haven't heard anything else from Cindy. I hope she's doing okay, but take good care of yourself. Along with that, I wanted to give you an update. Jeffrey, our Let's Go family member, he has an amazing vlog called Cruising for One. He said that he cruises solo, so he always makes an emergency packet with a note on the mirror in his stateroom telling him the information that he knows that they would need to have if anything happened to him. I think that's an amazing idea, as well as so many of you said you take pictures of your pill bottles, you put it in your wallet, you keep it on your phone. So thank you all for your wonderful response on that from yesterday. So just keep all of that in mind. The next thing that I wanted to make sure everybody knows about testing is if you use those tests that you order from Emed or from Optum, you don't have to make an appointment. Like I said, the test comes with it when you buy the test. You just log in on emed.com, and there's even a QR code that's on the box that you can use to log in, and then you just answer some questions, and then then you just indicate that you're ready to start your test. And Gordon and I have never waited more than a few minutes. They're open 24/7. It's very slick. So just be aware of that. Now I'm going to mention flights to you all again. I know I have talked to you a lot about flights, but I've got an update here from our Let's Go family member, Diane. She was kind enough to send me this. So we all know that with the restart, the airlines have been trying to get back to the point they were before COVID, as well as there has just been unprecedented demand for travel as we have come out of the part of the pandemic where you couldn't travel. And so Air Canada has announced that they are going to have to make some changes. They say that with reluctance, they are now making meaningful reductions to their schedule in July and August in order to reduce passenger volumes and flows to a level where we believe the air transport system can accommodate. So Air Canada is going to be canceling some flights for July and August. So if you are booked on Air Canada, double check right now and make sure that your flight is still there. Double check if you're booked with Princess Easy Air or with any cruise line's air plan. Make sure that your flight is still there, as well as if you have booked on your own. The other thing that I think is really important to think about with this is if Air Canada is canceling some flights, it doesn't mean that many fewer people are going to want to travel. I believe that it means that it's going to put more stress on some of the other airlines. And so really pay attention to what's going on. And I have thought of a couple of things that I think are worth your thinking about if you're going to be flying, especially during July and August, based on what some people have told me their experiences are. So first of all, like I always tell you, have that Princess Easy Air number with you if you've booked with Easy Air. The en route number is 1-800-545-0008. Have that with you. Have it in your phone. I have met several people, I would use the word several, during the week that I was in Alaska, both when I was on the ship as the Holland America's Koningsdam, as well as when I was in port. I met some people who were on different princess ships, and I even met a person who was sailing on Celebrity, and they shared with me, several of them did, the trouble that they had with their flights. Several people had their flights canceled the day that they were going to be flying up to embark on their cruises, and they had a really hard time getting through to Princess Easy Air and were not able to, some of them. And so they ended up just buying another flight. And this happened to more than one person. I guess Alaska Air is a good one to pick up. Have them in mind. And so just look around and be aware of what other flights are going around the time or the day that you are going to try to be flying on, so that you've got a little bit in your mind. You've looked and seen what else you can maybe pick up. Okay, I would say that if you end up having to do that, when you get home, definitely contact Princess or whoever it is that booked your flights, whichever cruise line, and get your money back for the flights that you didn't take. And if you tried to call Princess Easy Air or whatever your whichever cruise line you were with and you could not get through, I wouldn't let them get away. I would really be firm about wanting my money back. And so just be aware of that. Look at the flights that are around, and then go early. Go early, go early, go early. If you are booked to fly in on the day that your cruise departs, just change your flight now. I think that was risky before all of this happened, but now you just might miss your cruise. And I know that they will help you usually, especially if you're booked with Princess Easy Air, they'll help you get to that next port, but who wants to miss that much of your cruise and all of the stress that goes with it? So definitely book your flight. This time when I flew up to Vancouver and then home from Seattle, I feel so blessed that my flights went. But what I'm hearing, it was a fluke. I think that there were a lot of canceled flights. And so just kind of have an eye on everything that's going and be really aware of what's going on. The other thing that I wanted to make sure is, these are just some random questions that people have asked, and I thought they might be helpful for people. I am working on finding the information about the beverage packages on Holland America. This is a little bit ridiculous, but when I had a cruise planned with Holland America, once I logged in and went in to manage my cruise, I could see the different beverage plans, and I didn't think anything about it. But now I can't seem to find them. And so I'm still looking, but I wanted to let you know that I'm going to tell you about it when I can find it. But on Holland America, they give you canned soda. I've had so many questions about that. You just walk up and just say, and I found this out. I walked up and I said, I would like a Diet Coke, please. And I was used to Princess where they use the fountain, the little thing at the bar, and just give you a Diet Coke in a glass. Well, on Holland America, they just give you a can, and and you can ask for a glass with ice in it, which I do, and then you can say, can I have 2 Diet Cokes? You can say, can I please have 2 Diet Cokes and a can of water? And if you've got the plan, which my plan had it, they just give that to you all at once, and your glass with ice. Or one was really nice when I asked for 2 Diet Cokes and a can of water, he gave me 2 glasses with ice. Very nice. So you can take them back to your room. You can take them to a table and sit down, a chair and sit down, wherever you want. Or you can ask if they, come up to you and take your order. You can ask for that and they'll bring it to you. But I just wanted to let you know that that's where we kind of are with that. Another really important thing that I wanted to let you know here is our Let's Go family member, Anne Marie. I think this is so valuable. I mentioned that I thought our hotel room in Vancouver was expensive, and everybody said Vancouver is expensive. She stayed at the Moda Hotel, Moda, and she said that it is in downtown Vancouver. It's a short walk from the downtown SkyTrain stop, a short walk to the hop-on, hop-off bus, and that you can walk to the port from there. And so I looked at it really quick, and it is more affordable than a lot of the options. So I thought that might be really helpful for some of you trying to decide where you're going to stay in Vancouver, even if it's just for the night before your cruise, or if you come in a little earlier, stay a little longer. So thank you very much, Anne Marie. Really appreciate that. I hope that these updates are helpful to all of you. If you have questions about anything, surely do put them in the comments below, and I will do my best to find out for you. This evening, we're hoping to do a live. We're planning on it at 8 p.m. Eastern, so keep an eye out for us. Other than that, if you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.